Namaste and welcome. It is Tuesday, I believe it's the 13th of November, and the angels have been contacting me this morning on a topic that they would like for me to talk about and share information on. Forgiveness. Such a big topic, and we're going to do our best to bring in as much information as possible in the next half an hour or so. Maybe 20 minutes. Anyway, we'll see how long this goes. But I appreciate you coming and being here. I know that my sessions have been a little lackluster lately. I'm fixing that. I feel so much better. I've been a little under the weather. If I'm sniffly, it's because my house is cold, because it's cold outside. I think it's like 4 degrees. And so, welcome to Minnesota winter. And so anyway, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to bring in the angels, and they're going to give me messages for you, and I will give those to you straight from the angel's mouth. Just so you know, when I get a message from the angel, even if I'm using my words, these are messages that are directly from them. I don't alter them. I don't spin them through my ego. I am a clear channel for their messages. I just want you to know that I work really hard in that particular area. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to get started with the Tarot deck from the heart, and we're going to see how how we need to start this process, and what steps are going to be that are available that might help to ease the transition into forgiveness from a place of resentment or anger. And so let's see what we got. We've got Embrace, which is the World card in the Tarot deck. Embrace. And it's important to embrace our responsibilities in damages done to ourselves. I know that sounds really harsh, but I don't mean it that way. What I mean is that it's time to embrace your power, your authority in your life. You, as a divine being, are the creator of your reality. That said, we bring in outside influences in order for us to expand and grow. So every time that you experience something with another interaction, this is something that you have brought into your life for a particular purpose. I don't care if it's something that you're standing in line at the grocery store and you're talking to your neighbor in line and they say something and it doesn't seem like a lot, but like 3 years later you remember. That's why. Because somewhere along the line you knew that you would need that information. So embrace your power. Embrace your majesty. Embrace your creative genius. Between you and the universe and the creator, which is all the creator, so between you and the creator, you create this amazing tapestry that you call life. The second card that we got was Moving On. And these really go hand in hand. Because in order to move on, you need to embrace the reality as it is, and then release any hurt, any misunderstanding, any miscommunication, any lessons. It's important to get those lessons so that you can move on. Say that you're with somebody and they cheat on you. Okay, and you don't want to own that. You don't want to go, well, I brought this experience into my life. Well, speaking from my own experience, I did bring it into my life, and I learned so much. Yes, it was painful, and yes, there was a lot of tears, there was a lot of anger, there was a lot of working through emotions, and I want you to understand that those emotions are extremely important. Your feelings are very valid and should be felt. It's how we express them that needs to be looked at. I mean, obviously, when you're angry, you don't want to hurt someone else. You don't want to hurt anybody, not yourself or anyone else. but you need to express that anger. And there's ways to do that that are healthy. If you don't, there's a lot of resources out there. If you have anger or depression, please get the help that you need. You can always contact me and I can help you work through different things through different sessions. I'll leave my email below. So we have embrace and moving on. It's time to move the energy. It's time to bring in forgiveness. It's time, if you're not willing to look at your responsibilities, then there's very little that you can do to change your reality. If you don't accept the responsibility that you have, the power that you have to create your life, then you will forever be at the whim of your monkey mind. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for our collective, and I don't want that for me. And so those are things that I work on. Being in a state of forgiveness is not about saying that it was okay, that whatever happened was if it was hurtful, then obviously you don't want to say that those kinds of actions against you are okay. The lesson is what is important, so much more than the actual acting out of it all. When we get in the middle of a scene in our life, we have a tendency to get caught up in it and really believe that that is the only reality that we have. Miracles. Expect miracles. When you're in the mix of everything and your life is seeming really chaotic, look for the miracles. Your angels are telling you right now that they're sending miracles to you. If you find yourself ass deep in alligators, excuse my language if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But if you find yourself like that, the best thing to do is pray and become willing. And if you can't become willing to move forward, then pray for willingness to move forward. Pray for willingness to become forgiving. Pray for willingness to become powerful. Pray for the willingness to forgive yourself. Because probably unconsciously you're holding a resentment to yourself for creating the havoc in your life. There's a lot of chaos going around right now. There's a lot of general upheaval. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just change. And if there's one constant in life, it's change. So what the angels are asking you to do is to listen to the words of wisdom and the wind. They say that they speak to you through the feathers that you find, through the coins that you see on the ground that you find, the words of that person that was standing next to you in the grocery aisle, or from out of the mouths of your babes. A lot of times angels choose to speak to us through the children because they're so much more receptive than the adult mind is. Make peace with where you are. If you don't know how to do that on your own, please contact someone that you trust or that you believe can help you in that particular avenue. There are so many tools out here to aid in healing, especially forgiveness. Forgiveness is such a massive thing, and it goes right along with gratitude. Gratitude and forgiveness, I believe, are the two most dominant needs in our society right now. And the angels have sent ideas and inspiration, and they're just talking about looking for miracles, moving on, and finding those ideas and inspiration on how to embrace your life, how to forgive and move on. Healing is happening. When you forgive, it is imperative that you embrace the healing that's going to happen. Anytime that you move energy, there's going to be a new energy coming in. You want that new energy to represent the forgiveness that you've worked so hard to achieve. So make sure that you keep your thoughts positive. Okay? Thoughts become things, as Mike Dooley says, choose good ones. I think Abraham says something very similar to that. Both of them are very good teachers. So, the angels are speaking to you. They're showing you, they're letting you know through ideas and inspiration that there's miracles abounding in your life. If you want to take advantage of these to move on and embrace the healing that is happening on a soul level all across the board right now, open your heart as much as you can. Embrace yourself, who you are, where you are, what you are, where you've been, what you've done, what you haven't done. Maybe you're one of those people that you've sat behind glass doors all your life and you've been locked away from the world because you're too afraid. And what I have to say to you is that's okay. If you're ready to move forward, which I think you are because you're watching this, again, really and truly, the only forgiveness that is necessary is the forgiveness of self. If you have a resentment, it's against yourself. If you have anger, more than likely it's against yourself. You're just misdirecting it to somebody else because it's easier to deal with Joe Blow over here and be angry at him than it is yourself for creating that kind of chaos in your life. Just look to the message. There's no wrong way of doing this. This is life. It's just an experience. There's been so many people that have said it in so many different ways. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Part of that human experience is learning and growing, and sometimes it's painful. So the archangels are telling me that now is time, that everything is in divine order, that divine order, Archangel Raguel, everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion, weren't we just talking about that? To see the underlying order. In order for creation to happen, there has to be some sort of chaos. In order for growth to happen, there's always chaos. If you watch a seed come out of the ground, it pushes and it ruptures the dirt. It creates a little bit of chaos. And then, but there's order in that chaos. There's order in the bloom. There's order in the order of it starting to sprout, from it pushing through the dirt, from it coming up and growing and eventually blooming and sprouting or having fruit or beautiful flowers or necessary nutrients. The process is what's important. Knowing that there's an underlying order in all things, including human development and human growth and human healing. Archangel Zadkiel says that healing can sometimes be perceived as painful because you feel like you need to relive every experience, and that's not the case. When you're reviewing your life and you're looking at these experiences that you've had that you may not have gleaned all the information out of yet. When you're looking at these experiences, it's important to be gentle with yourself. Archangel Sandalphon says so. He says, be very gentle with yourself at this time. And during a time of healing, you really need to be very, very gentle with yourself. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environment. While you're doing this deep transformative work, it is important to be so gentle with yourself, to be nurturing with yourself, to love yourself unconditionally, to see yourself as healed and whole and healthy, balanced, full of compassion for yourself. It is important that you be gentle. Okay, so the idea here is that you get to the root of whatever situation or relationship or action or inaction that you have that is causing you to feel a certain way, that you feel like there needs to be forgiveness involved. Archangel Zadkiel says to pray to him, to allow his violet light to embrace you, to let Saint Germain's violet flame burn away and to transmute your energies from dark or despairing or angry and aggressive or hopeless and forgotten. Let these two miracle workers, Archangel Zadkiel and Saint Germain, bring in the violet flame and lift you up, cleanse you out, and transmute your energies into something higher, more positive, more loving, more gentle. True forgiveness starts from within. True forgiveness isn't about saying that what you did to me was okay, but I've learned this lesson. Instead, you want to say, I've learned this lesson. I don't need to do it again. Make sure you add that on. Please, Archangel Zadkiel, help me learn my lesson for my greatest good. I don't want to have to do it again. I want to learn fully and completely from this experience. And then open yourself to the wisdom that's going to flow into your heart. It's important to have an open heart, an open psyche, no preconceived notions, no blame, no finger pointing, no shame. I'm in the process of writing a book called You Can't Do It Wrong. And in that book I explain how there is no right nor wrong way. There is no bad or good as such. It is all just experiences. And when we can take that experience and bring it into life and utilize it, that's when the magic happens. Let's see what animal oracle card, animal spirit, is with us. We got two of them. Eagle spirit. Spirit has your back. While you're doing this process, Spirit has your back. It is watching over you, guiding you, and protecting you. And then we have Flamingo Spirit, which is embrace the in-between. And the in-between in this particular experience is the not feeling high, not feeling low, but somewhere in between. Those are important parts of this week. And I really think that you should look them up, the information on those more. You can go to Colette Baron Reed's website. I believe she has stuff on her cards. And also you can look up in the Animal Speak book by Ted Andrews, I believe is the author. Animal Speak is a very good dictionary, encyclopedia, so to speak, if you will, of different animals and their representations. But these are from Colette Baron Reed's Animal Oracle deck and the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. And they're very, very good. Thank you, Colette Baron Reed. So, using what we have here, I want to encourage you to call upon your angels, to welcome them into your existence, into your experience. If you're not familiar with how to set a circle of protection, if you're not familiar with or don't have experience with learning about how to call in your angels and guides, I'd be more than happy to do a private session with you. And we can call in your personal angels and guides and give you the names and the messages from each of those, and I would be honored to help you during this. So I've got some notes here that they want me to talk to you about. And Archangel Zadkiel says, like I said earlier, if you're finding that you're not in a place of, if you're in a place of resistance with the forgiveness, The most beneficial thing to do is to pray for willingness to become willing to forgive. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. If you pray for the willingness to become willing, you will receive it. And I know that sounds very strange, but it's true. I've done it, and I do it whenever I find that I'm in a place of resistance, which happens. Then I ask to become willing, to become willing. Because then once I get that willingness, then the forgiveness just flows. So that is step one. If you're not in a place and you're in a place of resistance, I suggest that you pray, and the angels ask you to pray. They ask you to pray for willingness to become willing. They ask you to pray for forgiveness for yourself. I encourage you to tap into your higher self. You simply call in your higher self and ask them to guide you through the forgiveness process. Because your higher self doesn't have any resistance. Your higher self is your divine self, and therefore is beyond human emotion. So I think that it is important to also state that forgiveness is for you. Even if you say to Joe Blow, I forgive you of all your transgressions against me. What you really are saying is that to yourself, I forgive you for allowing this person to do these transgressions against me. And in doing so, then your soul goes, oh, thank you. Because you're saying to yourself, you're worth the forgiveness. And that's what's important. Okay, so in extreme cases, I suggest that you pray for a softening of your heart towards a certain situation or a person or whatever have you, the emotion. If something really serious has happened and you just can't conceive of how you brought this into your life. For example, when I was 26, I was in a severe car accident, and the woman who I hit died. I was very, very resentful, and I had a lot of survivor's guilt. And I was very angry for a very, very long time, and I had to pray for a softening of my heart, for a willingness to become willing to forgive myself, ultimately, for putting myself in that position to learn the lesson that I had to learn so severely. And it has absolutely been life-saving for me. I have been able to reach out and touch so many lives because of what I learned from that experience. And I can't even begin to express all the different things that I learned. There's been so many over the last 22 years. So embrace what you can. Let go of everything that you can. And move on. It's time. It's time to let go of the past. It is time to let go of your resentments. It's time to let go of your guilt, your shame, your remorse. Those don't serve you. All they do is bring your energy down. Source wants us to be joyful, hopeful, and embrace life. So I encourage you to help yourself find ways to do that. I appreciate you coming today. If you like what I have, please like, subscribe, and share. If you have any comments, please leave them below. I appreciate any sort of comment, constructive criticism, or congratulations, or questions are always welcome too. If you'd like to book a session with me, I will leave my email below. And I hope that you have a beautiful week. I hope that this helps somebody out there and touches your life in a way that you needed. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Namaste.